Hi, so today I'm going to take you through how to do your own tarot reading. This was the first deck I got when I was 12. Um, it is a great deck, so it's the Crowley Thoth Tarot deck, and the book that comes with it, Mirror of the Soul. So this is like the book that goes along with the cards. So today I'm going to do the reading, which is the complete system, which is the Celtic Cross. But I'm going to just lay out how I'd normally do my tarot readings with the 10 cards. To me, it doesn't really matter in what way you do it. You get a feel for it, so you can kind of follow the book, or over time you'll kind of get your own way of doing things. So this is a good reading if you want, you're coming up to certain situations in life, like there might be the beginning or an end of a relationship, a project, a turning point in your life, or if you just want a in-depth reading for a question you might have. So it can be any question that you're interested or want to know. This is like a demo reading, but I'll also make it a reading for this week's moon cycle. So we've just gone through the full moon. So we're still in the full moon phase. So I'm going to ask a question for this new moon phase. What are we releasing as a collective? So you would shuffle the cards first. And you can do it any way. In the book, it says to set them in 3 piles and then collect them again and shuffle, and then you do this 2 more times. So while you're doing this, you would empty your mind, maybe set the scene first and light a candle, light some incense, be relaxed, maybe meditate for a few minutes. And just, if you've got your own question, just let that question come to you. As you're shuffling the card, focus on that question. And then you'd put them in 3 piles again. And then from this, you would then choose which one feels right for the energy of this reading. And I'm choosing this one. So I set these ones aside. So I'm going to mix this one more time. Focusing on the question, what do we need to release as a collective for this moon cycle? Okay, so the first card is always the basic theme or the situation or the question. The second card is what is crossing the basic situation or theme. The third card is our conscious thoughts. The third card is our unconscious thoughts. The fifth card would be what is in the past or that which is ending or coming to an end. The sixth card is the future or that which is beginning. The seventh card is us, ourselves, how we're approaching the situation. The 8th card is energies coming in from the outside world or your environment. And the 9th card is hopes and fears. And the 10th card is the outcome or the key. So we then turn the cards over. So we've got Science, 6 of Swords. We've got the 5 of Swords. We've got the Ace of Wands. The 3 of Discs or 3 of Pentacles. We've got the Empress. The Emperor. Ooh, interesting. And we've got the 5 of Cups, disappointment. That's not so great. We've got the Knight of Swords, the Moon card, and the Magician. Okay. So as this is like a reading from the book, how to do it from the book, I'm going to read you the descriptions and the meanings from the book, just so you get a feel for if you like this tarot deck, this book. So I thought that might be helpful. So the Six of Swords, let's find it. So science. So the key words are Mercury in Aquarius, ability to analyse, to unify ideas, all-encompassing vision, all-embracing understanding and objectivity. Mercury is one of the greatest gifts for Aquarius. Mercury's ability to analyse brings clarity to perspectives on the future. The perceptions are not only seen and recognised, but can be effectively communicated now. The most varied ideas and visions meet at one central point. This allows for a new, all-encompassing vision of things which bring the rose of realisation into bloom. The rose and cross in the centre of the painting symbolise the secret of scientific truth, which repeatedly forces us to break away from outdated models and ways of thinking. This does not in any way confine itself to the world of science. Newly gained realizations also serve to demolish old ruts in personal areas and relationships. The changes that are now necessary should be communicated in such a way that others can hear, understand, and accept them. Indications. You possess the ability to perceive on different levels and from different perspectives. Your understanding of things unites many different aspects. Question. Where are and what are the ruts in your life? Suggestion. Trust your insight. Communicate in a way others will understand. Allow the rose to unfold. Affirmation. The rose of recognition blossoms in my heart. So that was the basic theme or situation that we're in right now for this moon cycle. What are we releasing? So the next card underneath is what's crossing that. So the card before, the Five of Swords, is defeat. Keywords are Venus in Aquarius, fear of loss or defeat, fear of painful situations or experiences. The Five Swords are arranged in a pentacle which points downward. Equilibrium is lost. The pentagram stands on its head, is outlined by drops of blood. Old wounds have been touched and bleed anew. The swords are curved. They are injured, out of harmony. Each sword's grip indicates a different aspect of this situation. The fish represents the past. The sleeping snake now shows that no renewal is happening. The downward pointing cross symbolises lost awareness. The ram's horn shows that new impulses are lacking and nothing will be set in motion. And the seashell expresses the need for protection. Fear of defeat dominates the moment. It may be connected with relationships or more generally with the beginning of something which is of great importance to you. It is the fear of losing control, of experiencing the feeling that everything is slipping out of your hands. Aquarius is directed towards the future. The challenge is to make room for your own objectivity and clarity, despite the fear of defeat. The white in the centre of the painting represents the bright spirit attempting to break through the power of fear. So it's like we want to do something and, we want to, see and have new ideas and we do have a vision. But I think the Five of Swords is crossing that, so it's our fears. Indications. Drawing this card shows that you are now ready to see your fear of defeat. Fear is irrational in nature, meaning it does not necessarily reflect the real situation. By recognizing this, you will set free all those energies which have been bound up in your fear. If you are afraid to see control slipping out of your hands, remember the feeling that you are in control is an illusion. Seeing, understanding, accepting and letting go of your fear will set you free. Question. What do you associate with the idea of defeat? Suggestion. Write down the answer to the above question or share the answer with someone you trust. If old wounds are revealed, allow yourself to feel the pain. This is the only way for them to heal. Affirmation. I accept my fear and let it go. I don't know about you, but for the new moon cycle, that was what I was letting go, was my fears of, the future and any limiting beliefs. So the third card is our conscious thoughts, and that is the Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands. Keywords are fire, high or strong energy, and transformation. So this is your conscious thoughts. The Ace of Wands is represented by a huge flaming torch, symbol of the element fire, which rules wands. This is the second highest energy card. The sun is the highest in this deck. This card shows the energies which arise after all blocks have been removed. The bolts of light go off in all directions. representing the power bursting out of these flames. All security and certainties that you have been clinging to will be shaken and destroyed by the impact of the energies breaking through. If all obstacles are out of the way, renewal in all areas and levels of life take place. The revitalizing power fills your entire being with new light. Now it is important for the free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet. You can use the energy only if you have a goal toward which you can direct it. The next step after releasing the blocks is to find the right framework in which to set this energy to work. Indication: you are full of power and energy. Engage fully in discovering where and how you can and want to use it. Question: what attracts you to doing it the most? What gives you the most pleasure? In what framework could you realise your dreams? Suggestion: draw cards for the above questions. So if you're doing your own reading, you can do that, and I have done that before. And then an affirmation is: I express my energy and power openly. So the unconscious thoughts underneath is the Three of Pentacles or discs, and the keywords are Mars in Capricorn, work, toil, gradual progress, duty to oneself and self-confidence. This card indicates full employment of all your energies in any situation which you feel yourself obliged to deal with. You are willing to undertake even difficult tasks. The sense of obligation comes from within. Your whole being is needed. Full engagement of all your energies is necessary now. The free will symbolize body, mind, and spirit. None of these can be left out. Only through their combined and balanced use will you see visible results, the crystal pyramid. The energies of different planes are united by their common goal. Clarity arises, which is the crystal. The heavens begin to open. The clouds of uncertainty may repeatedly blur and clear your vision of the goal, but your unshakable affirmation of the work you have begun gives you the power to overcome temporary doubts. This assures your gradual progress. Indication: some situation is demanding your readiness to work steadily. Engage yourself totally. It's worth it. Questions: in what areas do you still hold yourself back? In which areas could you be giving more of your energies? Suggestion: find out and remain aware of what you want to set your full energies toward achieving. Affirmation: I am now ready to give everything and receive everything. So that's obviously our unconscious thoughts. So it's underneath, there's work that we know we probably still need to do. So if we are holding ourselves back in any areas, where do we really want to put those energies towards? Because from the conscious thoughts, we've got a lot of energy, and we don't want to direct our will somewhere. So that which is ending or about to end is the Empress. So the Empress keywords are Venus, beauty, love, motherliness, femininity, wisdom, connection between spirit and matter, inner and outer wealth. The Empress embodies and commands the feminine in all its forms. Her form and surroundings are marked by beauty and wholeness. You feel a sense of well-being in her presence, taking part in the harmony of her being. Her beauty is not restricted only to the externally visible. Her femininity is fully evolved on all levels of her being, giving her a special radiance. She is mother and lover, ruler and seer at the same time. Her strength rests in the unifying of the highest spiritual values in their fully perceivable forms with the lowest material qualities. The essential characteristics of her dominion are love in its giving and receptive aspects, creativity and fruitfulness, understanding and wisdom. Her right hand holds the phallus-like stem of the lotus, which unfolds its petals in front of her heart chakra. Her left hand is open receptively. The creativity of male procreative power unifies itself with femal surrender. After she has integrated the male aspects of herself, a woman will be internally and externally in harmony. The pink-white pelican which feeds its brood with its own blood signifies unconditional mother love, nourishing the young with its whole being. The Empress also represents the Great Mother, Mother Earth, who gives birth to and nourishes all living beings. The double-headed white eagle on the shield symbolizes the transformation which arises through the unification of the diverse aspects of your being. Moon and Earth are united and surrounded by a magnetic energy field, When the emotional depths of the unconscious moon manifest visibly, Earth, they become available for consciousness to use. When the powers from within are integrated, you will radiate wholeness and completeness, which attracts other people magnetically because it gives them a feeling of security and protection to be in your presence. The union of moon and earth appears once again on the crown. The Maltese cross emphasizes the significance of the union between spiritual and material. Her face is turned towards the dove. She is oriented towards the future. In her wisdom, she has turned from the past, the sparrow. The opening in the arch behind her can be seen as a gateway to heaven. This beautiful physical form merely hints at something more beautiful, much greater, which is hidden in it. Hermann Hesse describes every phenomenon on earth as an image, saying that all images are open gates through which the soul can enter the inner world when it is ready. Here, you and I, and everything else are all one. Every person comes to such an open gate at some time in life, but few go through the gate or give up the pretty illusions on this side for what we may sense lies within the reality of the inner. Indications. The beauty you see in others, which attracts you to them, is a beauty you carry within yourself. You are in the process of unfolding and evolving your femininity. This may be the right time to work through and clarify unresolved mother conflicts. Question. In your life, is there a beautiful, strong woman from whom you would like to learn? Suggestion. Visualize your ideal woman. Write down her most important qualities. Try to find these in others and yourself. Surround yourself with beauty and abundance. And the affirmation. I am filled with power and beauty. So that is what I think, that's what we have, we have started to embrace, is our femininity. And it's interesting that, that which is beginning or the future is the emperor. So it's like stepping into our, our leader kind of role. So for this one, keywords are Aries, pioneer, discoverer, leader, initiator, creative wisdom, great leadership qualities, urge for action, adventurousness, new beginning, fatherhood and authority. The emperor is portrayed as a crowned man in a majestic gown. The globe with the Maltese cross, symbol of imperial dignity, represents the unification of wisdom and worldly mastery. His throne, which glows with the fiery colours of Mars and the sun, is ornamented with the heads of wild Himalayan rams. His sceptre also bears the symbol of power and adventurousness. The reclining lamb with the flag of peace represents the other aspect of the ram. The qualities of true leadership include humility and submission to the cosmic law, as well as dynamism, I can't talk, and power. A deep understanding and a constant consideration of the will of the whole are also necessary. A ruler with these qualities is filled with a tremendous compassion, which will allow him or her to sacrifice the self for the good of the whole. The double eagles symbolize the inner and outer changes brought about by the creative energy of the sun, and also refer to the emperor's creative energy. He heralds the beginning of an enterprise, or a new phase in life. This beginning may be an extension or expansion in the realm of rule, dominion or mastery, or the conquering of new territories. On the material plane, the new beginning may mean starting a promising new project, a change in career, travel or fatherhood. On the inner plane, new realizations may emerge, insights in areas previously unfamiliar, or dramatic self-revelation and self-discovery are also possible. As long as the Emperor's powers are used for transformation and new beginnings, their effect is beneficial. But beware, using them to preserve the status quo. When used to preserve the status quo, the structure of the Emperor's realm petrifies. His boldly determined expression becomes frozen. His authority, once grounded in wisdom, expresses an authoritarian domination, living in fear of change. He attempts to nip any rebellion in the bud. He is then doomed. His own resistance to the flow of the Tao sooner or later will topple his reign. Indication: this is a propitious moment for a change or new beginning. Prosperous moment for a change or new beginning. Trust your own energy and move with it. Questions: what revitalization does your life need? Are there steps you would like to take towards this? Suggestion: examine yourself critically. especially in regard to your relations with subordinates and superiors. Affirmation, I trust my power. I rule by serving. I serve by ruling. So it looks like there is some kind of like leadership that will be coming, but do we step towards that and do we embrace our transformation and new beginnings, or do we just try and keep the status quo? If we keep the status quo, that's us living in our fear. So I think this is saying, move forward. So the 7th card is you, your attitude and approach to the question or situation, and we have the 5 of Cups. Keywords are Mars in Scorpio, unfulfilled expectations, lost sense of balance, problematic relationships, and unexpected disturbances. The golden cups have become glasses. They are empty and fragile. The pentagram points downward, indicating the victory of matter over spirit. A hot wind has uprooted the lotus and wilted the blossoms. The salty water is dead. The expectations were much too big. Some unexpected event, perhaps only a thoughtless reaction, has ruined them abruptly. The aggressively destructive energies now dominating the scene have probably been smouldering beneath the surface for a long time. You overlooked them, perhaps because you didn't want to admit to their existence. You ignored the warnings of your inner voice, but now you have to face the sobering facts and look them in the eye. Every disappointment contains, however, the possibility of an important learning experience. The roots of the lotus are coiled in the shape of a butterfly, symbol of transformation, for the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Indication. Either some much too big high expectations of yours have been crushed, or somewhere deep inside you lurks the fear of some disappointment. Now is a good time to learn from this situation. Question. In what areas of your life do you fear disappointment? What have you learnt from the disappointments you've experienced until now? How can you prevent disappointment? Suggestion is to draw a card for the above questions, but I won't do that just to keep this shorter. Affirmation. I get to know my own reality by learning to see where I fool myself or deny my inner voice. So this to me is like we come across tricky situations, tricky relationships in our life, and we can sometimes have very high expectations of others and we project our expectations onto others. So sometimes this is about, looking within and seeing, are you displaying yourself in a way that is causing other people to, reflect that back to you? So I think this is a lot, stop having such high expectations of yourself and others, and like flow with life and what you want to do. And sometimes I think it's because we're not following the path we want to follow, we're doing things we don't really want to do in our day-to-day life, that we end up being disappointed and not doing anything about it. So for me, this is saying, having this recognition is a good thing because you can move through this, but I think you need to take some authority and maybe set some boundaries. So the next one we have is the Knight of Swords, and this is energies coming in from the outside world or our environment, and the keywords are the fiery aspect of air, goal-oriented, ambition, flexible intellectual powers, passion and vehemence. The Knight of Swords in his gold-green armour goes hunting, riding at the full gallop, the embodiment of his goal-oriented mental activity. He knows where he is bound and will not rest until he arrives at his destination. He has remarkable powers of concentration. Thoughts and ideas come to him with lightning speed. He is a master of imaginative and flexible thinking, which he uses to achieve his goals. The 4 propellers refer to the 4 heavenly directions and indicate that the power of thought is bounded neither by space nor time. His strong intellectual determination is unified with a deep emotional perspectiveness. Only goals which are emotionally charged can kindle such passion. Body, intellect and spirit are in harmony and fly alongside him. Both swords, the long one in his right hand and the short one in his left, will be employed equally. They represent 2 potential energies. Yang, male analytical, and yin, female intuitive, which will be needed in the proper balance in order for him to advance. He appears to be one with his galloping horse because of his well-balanced and correctly applied abilities. Indication. You are in a good position now to forge plans, set goals and bring them to fruition. Questions. Do you know your goal? What happens once you achieve it? Suggestion: imagine how you will best be able to enjoy your success. Affirmation: I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. So this is like saying, go one step at a time, but also know what your goal is. What is it that you actually do want? Because if you're just flailing around all over the place and you don't have any direction, like not even one goal, or you don't believe anything is possible, then you are going to be disappointed. But if you maybe meditate or go within and start to think, what is it I truly want? And it's not about, oh, I want that, within a week, or I want this to be within, 6 months. It's, don't put a time limit on it. Just have that kind of goal in mind. Do you want to start your own business? What can I do today to, learn about what it would be like to have my own business, for example? So the ninth card we have is our hopes and fears, and that is the moon. So the moon. Keywords are Pisces, final testing, wrong turns, illusion, burning off karma, interaction or struggle with the subconscious, threshold to new levels of consciousness. The moon here is the waning moon. It is in the process of diving further and deeper into the darker realms of the soul. It is the time of final and often most difficult testing. The danger of forgetting your true goal in the darkness is very great. Temptations and illusory perceptions lurk along the way, ready to lead you down the garden path. Be careful. The upper part of the card shows a narrow passageway guarded by sinister sentries whose heads are those of wolves, Anubis, Egyptian god of death. Behind them rise dark, threatening towers, symbols of the sentries' power. The guards hold the scepter of the phoenix in one hand and the symbols for Mercury and Pluto as keys in the other. Jackals lurk at their feet, ready to fall upon and devour the corpses of those who risk passing between the towers in uncertainty or out of mere curiosity. The guarded entranceway is also a representation of the female sexual and birth organ, the vagina. The moon symbolises here the unconscious aspect of the feminine, changeable, moist, shadowy, seductive, possessing an eerie attraction. Everything appears mysterious, doubtful and bewitching. But only by passing through this gateway will new life arise. The path to awareness leads us through unawareness, the unknown, the menacing. Anyone who wishes to be a person of wisdom must first deal directly and fully with these areas of ignorance. Only through direct experience will you get to know them. The veils of illusion yield finally to the light as you recognize them for what they are. As the veils part, you gain valuable insight into the true mysteries hidden behind them. An analogy to this process is the rite of initiation performed in many tribes. The introduction into the status of adulthood requires the completion of a very difficult and dangerous task for which long and careful preparation is needed. The person who dares to pass through the portals needs unconquerable courage and the willingness to make the necessary preparations. Happy the one who has the good fortune to find a guide who can be trusted on this stage of the path. Yet even, or perhaps especially in this case, tremendous awareness is required. All too many guides offer themselves with tempting promises without knowing the way themselves. Only by keeping in constant touch with the voice of your heart will you be able to turn mistakes into opportunities for progress in the path. When you truly follow the teachings of the heart, you will see that even a false path may have been necessary for a learning step on the way. The threshold to death is also the threshold to a new life. This is the entryway into a higher consciousness. This is symbolized on the card by the sacred Egyptian beetle, holding in its pincers the symbol for the sun. The beetle carries the renewing light into the darkness. Wherever the light of consciousness appears, the darkness disappears. In fact, the darkness is revealed as having been an illusion, mere shadows which appeared to exist only because something was blocking the flow of light. Getting to know what things are blocking the light for you and sweeping them aside are the first steps in transformation. Indications. You have heard the call of the unknown. You are on the threshold of new experience. Pay attention now to the voice of your heart and scrutinize calmly and carefully the offers of assistance and guidance you may receive. Questions. What inner regions feel strange, alien, unknown to you? Where are your blind spots? What experiences are you most afraid of? Suggestions. Meditate regularly. Choose a technique you feel comfortable with and practice it daily for at least 3 months. Pay attention to the quality of your thoughts and images and write them down occasionally, or paint or draw them. Pay attention also to your nightly dreams. Affirmation, it's always darkest just before the dawn. So as we've just been in a full moon stage, that's kind of interesting. I do think sometimes we're scared of the unknown, of the future. You know, we're hoping for things, or we fear things. For me, this is like, yeah, definitely meditate, definitely write down any thoughts or insights that you have. I think that would be really important for you, but it's not being scared. So if there are parts of you, you know, that you're unsure of, but by meditating and being more still, you'll start to understand what those parts are and what you do need to integrate and let go of. The good thing is our, you know, our outcome. We have the Magician, so this is really positive. The keywords are Mercury, communication, playful dealings with all possible forms of communication, flexibility and brilliance. The Magus is represented by the Greek god Mercury, the messenger with wings of pure spirit. Mercury bears energy which spreads and radiates from him. The cards represents the will, wisdom and the word through which the world was created. Mercury balances with great skill on the tip of a surfboard-shaped stand and juggles with the different tools of communication. He is a genius at using all the possibilities available to him. In his duality, Mercury stands for truth and falsehood. He brings all set ideas and judgments into question, which often makes him appear in a questionable light himself. As a creative creature, he knows no conscience. He uses all tools, all methods to arrive at his goals. The temptation to misuse his talents is great. His ability and skill lend him superiority and power. He moves on the narrow border between white and black magic. This means he needs constant self-examination. He can use his talents in a self-seeking manner or in the service of love and light. In this painting, the Magus plays with the possibilities of communication. He wears a smile, meaning that he communicates with humour. The humorous, playful ease with which he manipulates his ability is an indication of its potential positive use. The monkey is the companion of the Egyptian god of wisdom, Thoth. He illustrates that wisdom can never be regulated in set ways. Any external manifestation, for example, through words, indicates in it some illusion. The objects Mercury juggles represents different realms of communication. So for example, 1, coins, would be body, matter and finance. 2, fire, inspiration, transformation and dynamics. Wand, philosophy, religion, spirituality. Arrow, directedness, honesty and purposefulness. Scroll, writing and publication. Winged egg, extrasensory perception and telepathy. Cup with snake is emotions, relationships and sexuality. And the sword, intellect, logic and analysis. The 2 snakes at his head are an ancient Egyptian symbol for healing and regeneration. In this context, they refer to the regeneration of thought. Above them is the Eye of Horus, god of perception, with a symbol of a dove, bearer of the spirit. The Magus receives inspiration from the soul of the universe, whose message he spreads on earth. This is more strongly expressed by the blue-yellow energy beam, which enters his head, penetrates through his body and emerges again at his feet. He cannot fulfill his task without constantly remaining in touch with the spiritual forces of the universe. He is always in the service of a superior law. When he recognizes and accepts this as his true function, he bears clarifying light into the darkness of ignorance and misunderstanding. Indications: you have at your disposal brilliant capabilities which you should share with other people. One important task is to find or create the proper surroundings for your activities. Questions: in what areas lie your talents? With what methods and in what surroundings can you pass them on or share them? Suggestion: visualize your ideal area of activity. Describe it. Affirmation: the full expression of my creative potential fulfills me and makes me happy. So, you know, if you don't know, you know, what you want to do or what you think you want to share or where your talents are, maybe ask some people around you what they think are your strong points. Because if, you know, a lot of us, we don't really know, or we put ourselves down a lot and we don't think we have, you know, many skills or talents. but we all do. We all have many things. Like some of us are really good at talking to each other, you know, talking to others, giving advice. Some of us are really good at, you know, fixing things, mending things, those kind of things. So, you know, what are you doing day to day? What things do you do that do bring you the most joy, even if they are your hobbies and not your job? But I think at this time we are wanting more. We're wanting more for ourselves. We're wanting more for the future. But I think that means taking the reins, taking the lead, not worrying about fears or disappointment or the unknown, and just embracing every day, and maybe making one small change each day that can lead you towards the goals and the outcomes you do want eventually. So yeah, this was just, you know, one of the spreads, but if you get the book, there's quite a few options there. It's just playing. You, over time, the more you use it, you start to, you know, learn the symbology, and about the colours and, you know, things like that. You'll look at it or you think, oh, what colours are there or what colours aren't there? Do I have a lot of swords cards, like, you know, your forts, those kind of things. We do have a lot of swords, so I think we're in our heads a bit. And I would say just play. I've got Oracle decks, tarot. This is my favourite tarot deck, but if you have any suggestions of like Oracle decks, tarot decks you really like, please put it in the comments below, because I'm always willing to have a new deck, because I love having a play with a new deck. But yeah, if you have any questions, or if you want to like, subscribe or share, I'd really appreciate that. I want to, you know, help others how to do things for themselves, because, you know, you can go and pay a tarot reader for a reading if you want to, but for me, I think the best thing you can do is learn how to do things for yourself. We're all connecting to spirit at all times. You might not believe or think you are, but you are. You can do it through your tarot readings. You can do it through dowsing rods. You can do it by asking your spirit guides questions when you're out in nature and ask for a sign to come, you know, and you might see a feather drop down and things like that. But yeah, you don't have to follow everyone else and what they're doing, you know, and just because I've been guilty of that, watching tarot readings constantly for questions, you know, answers to be, you know, to come. But really, you are the best person for that. So sit with yourself, get yourself a tarot deck, get yourself an oracle deck, and start playing. But yeah, I'm not sure of what to kind of demonstrate next, maybe the I Ching. But if you have any suggestions for anything you would like me to show you, or display or demonstrate, I'd be really happy to. So please share below in the comments any suggestions. And until next time, thank you. Bye.